Purchasing a home is an exciting time in your life, and for a first-time home buyer, purchasing a home is a huge accomplishment. But there are a few things you're going to want to watch out for so you don't end up with buyer's remorse. Hi, I'm Tony Martucci, your local Long Island realtor, and today I'm going to be sharing with you the 5 most commonly made mistakes made by first-time home buyers. My goal for today is to help share this knowledge with you to ensure that you have the most easygoing, smooth sailing, enjoyable home buying experience as possible. So let's jump right in. Tip number 1 is to get that pre-qualification letter in hand. And we want to do this for a couple of reasons. The first one being, we don't know what we can afford until the bank tells us what we can afford. We may have a good idea of kind of where our budget is and what price range we're looking for a house, but we really don't know until the bank tells us what price range we should be looking. So that's the first reason. And the second reason being, if you walk into a home and you love it, it's beautiful, it's everything you've ever wanted, chances are there's 30 other people in today's market also looking at that home and they love it as well. So now you want to go ahead and put in an offer. It's a great deal on this house. You want to get that offer in right away before everybody else does. Now, you can't put in an offer until you have that pre-qualification in hand. So you want to make sure you get that pre-qualification before you start your home search. And that's tip number 1. My second tip for you is when you're putting together a budget for purchasing your first home, it's to make sure that you're going to include all of the other fees and payments you're going to need to be making along with your mortgage and actually purchasing the home. This could be things like an HOA fee, taxes, insurance, along with closing costs and any attorney or lawyer fees you're going to have to pay at the time of closing. Now, these numbers can be fairly high. That's why I definitely encourage to make sure you know all of this and know what you can and can't fit into that budget when you're putting together your budget for buying your new home. So my third tip comes from now you've already found your dream home, you've put in your offer, and they've accepted it, and now you're getting ready to go into contract. We want to make sure we watch out for the terms and conditions that are inside of that contract. Because when you go into contract, you are going to give a deposit on the property. Now, what's going to happen is after you go into contract, even though you have that pre-qualification letter, it doesn't necessarily mean you will at the end of the day get approved for that mortgage. And now what happens if you've already given maybe 10% down towards your property, and now you're in contract, you're locked and loaded, and then you don't get the mortgage? You want to make sure that the terms and conditions in that contract were written on your behalf to say that if you can't become financially qualified or if something else happens along the way, you want to be able to cancel out that contract and you want to get your deposit back. This is going to lead me into tip number 4, and that being that you want to have a realtor working with you because they're going to be just an extra set of eyes looking out for you on your behalf. So tip number 3 is to watch out for the terms and conditions. Make sure you're working with a team of people on your side that are going to look out and take the best care of you. So that leads us right in here to tip number 4. So I just mentioned it briefly. You want to make sure that you're working with a real estate agent on your side. What does this mean? It means that there are agents out there that are representing the seller of the house. And then you can work with an agent that's going to represent you as the buyer. So this means if you see a house that you really like is having an open house this upcoming weekend, you show up to the open house, you meet the realtor, and you put in an offer right then and there. This is the issue with that. The realtor you're going to meet at that open house is going to be the realtor that's representing the seller in this case. So that realtor is going to do everything in their best power to get the very best deal for the seller. So even if you decide to make the offer right then and there and say you go into contract, now if little things come up here and there, which will happen and it's very normal and common, that realtor, although he's working with you, they're at the end of the day always looking out for the seller. So that's why you want to hire a buyer's agent. This doesn't cost you anything, but you want to find an agent out there that's going to be there to represent you. And it costs you $0 in the end. So make sure you go out there, you find yourself an agent that you know, you love, and you trust, and work with them and stick with them, because they will 100% be behind your back and stand up for you. And when it comes into negotiations, they're going to fight for you to get you the very best deal. And sometimes when little things come up here and there, once we go into contracts, they're always going to be there standing by your side, fighting for you to get you the best deal in the end. So my tip number 4 is to go out there and find yourself an agent and work with that agent to make sure that you have someone on your side. All right, so this brings us to my 5th and final tip for today, and this may be one of the biggest ones, and that is do not buy based on emotion. So what do I mean by this? I mean, you have a list or a picture in your head of exactly what your dream home would be. And then we also have realistically a budget that we are sticking to, or we have a certain town we are sticking to, or we work in a certain area and we only want our commute to be less than 30 minutes, for example. But now you find your dream home. But say it's a little over your budget, or it's a little further in travel, or it's in not the neighborhood that maybe you wanted. Don't buy based on this emotion of love for this one house. There will always be new homes coming up on the market. So maybe if you don't see that home in your budget, in your specific town, or close enough to work right now, I promise you it will come up. Now, I've seen way too many clients of mine try to purchase homes that are a little outside of their budget. And what happens is maybe you can do it. You can find the money and do it. But what happens is now you become a slave to your house. And now those vacations you love to take are no longer realistic, or you're living on a tighter budget because more money is being allocated towards your mortgage or the taxes. So make sure you know your budget. Make sure you know what your needs are. So we have a needs list and a want list. If your need is to be in a certain town or to be in a certain proximity to work or something else, make sure you stick with those needs. And I promise another house will come up that you'll love just as much as this one. So I hope these 5 tips really helped you out as you start your search for your new and first home. This is such an exciting time for you. I wish you all of the best of luck. And remember, I'm here in Franklin Square and I work in all of the surrounding areas. So if you're looking to buy a home for the first time, or even if you're looking to buy a new home and upgrade or downgrade, maybe now your kids are out of your house and you're living in a big empty house and you want something a little bit smaller, please feel free to reach out to me at any time. I love working with local residents. I love this town. I'm very passionate about this community, if you can't tell. So if you're looking to list a home or buy a home, or if you're looking even for an investment property, please feel free to reach out to me anytime. I look forward to speaking with you. I would love to meet you and start working with you. You can reach me anywhere here on Facebook. My phone number is everywhere, as well as probably in the comment section to this video. I hope that you enjoyed this video as always, and have a great day. And if you're a first-time home buyer, good luck and enjoy this experience.